After this event is over, we're going to have some tours available in some of the locations that you're going to hear about. In the back of the room, when you exit, we're going to have maps that we're going to hand out. We also have maps for the downtown murals that have been going on. You're going to hear more about murals today too. So without further ado, let's cue the video from our sponsor, Northwestern Energy.
Our operators, maintenance guys, electricians, they have taken over care of these facilities for generations before them, back 100+ years. And we are committed to doing everything needed to ensure that they're reliable, safe, and operational well into the future.
Hydro is stressful. Very consistent and forecast as and hydro.
Have, but in looking at all avenues to upgrade our sites, to get more capacity, more generation, more production out of them. Here at the Madison plant, we're very excited to kick off a very aggressive and large project to essentially replace all 4 of the generating units that are here now. These units have been operating reliably for well over 100 years. But we have the opportunity to upgrade them to new technology.
What we're doing is we're taking advantage of the same amount of water and we're making more power with that water.
I think Montana should be proud of how Northwestern operates and maintains our facilities, because we're trying to keep a valid business operating, customer bills down, but at the same time protecting this incredible resource we live in. Not only are we keeping the cultural and the historical heritage of these facilities, but we're also maintaining this environment, fish, wild flora, whatever you have out there. And so just seeing that passion of people that want thing to sources driving factor.
Not only are they co-workers, but they're neighbors, they're friends. And that's really important to us, that this tight-knit group that lives across the river, across the street from each other, come to work with a common goal in mind. These facilities are in great hands with Northwestern operating, owning, and caring for them.
And again, I would like to thank Northwestern Energy for sponsoring this. And first up, we have Heidi Hockett to start off our event.
Hi. Hi, it's so nice to see so many familiar faces here. This is truly an exciting event. We're very happy that we were able to sponsor it. That was my first, I'm going on. This venue is a testament to everything that I hopefully is to come from these announcements today. I think we should give them a round of applause. Thank you to Economic Development. All of the projects that you work on you're so passionate about it. I can't keep up with everything that you do. And I get all of the email blasts, and it's just incredible the amount of work that you do. I want to extend a huge thank you to all of the entrepreneurs and developers that are going to talk today. And I also think that the entrepreneurs are so visionary who put the Newberry together, and they're leading the way, really. As the video showed, we have been a staple here for many, many years, hundreds of years, and we are looking forward to continuing that in Great Falls and throughout Montana. We Sorry, my phone rang and I got discombobulated. Okay, the people that I know that are here from the office are Bob Benson, and he is the our division manager. And I can't see you anymore, so you could wave or something. And, oh, hi, there's Bob. And Jerry Gregg, who's sitting next to him, he is the superintendent of hydro operations. These people are literally the people who keep our lights on. When we kind of take it for advantage, when they're working on the sound system here, when in the morning we turn our lights on, they're the guys who do it, and they are scrambling in the background. So thank you very much, and I would like to give them a round of applause. Okay, now I'm just excited to hear about all of the development and from the entrepreneurs, and I just want to say thank you to them and congratulations.
All right, thank you again, Northwestern Energy. It's just fantastic to have you guys as our sponsor this year, especially being that this is, again, the first in-person Invest Downtown Great Falls. So first up, we're going to hear from Scott Reisner with the Newberry, and he'll talk about this beautiful venue that we're in right now.
Thank you. First, welcome to the Newberry. We couldn't be more excited to host events like this moving forward. You're our second one this week, so welcome. If you haven't been here yet or looked around, this place looked a little bit different a week and a day ago. We made it just under the bell to have our first concert here last Thursday. Before I get started, I know I only have 5 minutes, which is tough for me, but the Newberry was a project about anywhere from 3 to 7 years in the making, depending on who you talk to. Huge thank you to all of my partners in this. Tim Peterson with LPW Architecture. If you don't have an architect on your team, I don't think we could ever do this. So without Tim, none of this would be possible. Andy Farron, who owns Farron's Furniture. Seth Swingley, who's in the back with the Mighty Mo Brewing Company, and Keith Schneider. So obviously, it's a group that really cares about downtown. All encompassing now, we're partners in about 5 or 6 businesses in downtown. And really, this was a dream and a passion of finding a place in Great Falls that could really be an anchor for our community. We love events, love live music. If you see me out in the ballpark, you know events is kind of my thing. And having a place downtown where we could have that. That's why we built the Newberry. So you can see some of the concerts we have coming up. That'll be the core of our business, is going to be live music here, as well as weddings and corporate events. We expect to host about 100 to 115 events a year with 60 to 70 concerts every year. And really going to have touring artists. So Sawyer Brown, who's coming up, Sebastian Bach, Blue October, some big names that you recognize and some names you don't. We ask you to trust us, come out, enjoy the show, enjoy the venue. It's going to be a lot of fun. From a downtown perspective, we also have to have a huge thank you. We did all of our financing locally as well, Citizens Alliance Bank, and then obviously the GFDA was our gap financing in this project. Without them, this wouldn't have been possible. If there was no Great Falls Development Authority, the Newberry would have been built. So we couldn't have done it without them. Over the next year, we actually expect to bring about 75 to 100,000 people downtown for events. So if you're wondering, if you're on the fence of, do I open a business? What do I do? Where's the traffic going to come from? You're here. And we expect everyone to hopefully grow and build off of what we're doing. We have a mindset of more the merrier. We're with MR, the Block, the Mighty Mo, but we want another elevation. We're really excited for the Wild Hair, for Fire Pizza, for what other people are doing in downtown. It just all builds on each other. So if you have any questions, concerns about the project in downtown and you need help, I am always available. I know our whole team is. Mike Callahan in the back there. We'll all help you out with anything you need. We're just excited to get this project going, to have live music in downtown Great Falls, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks for Sawyer Brown.
So thank you again, Scott, for allowing us to have it here and allowing us to have our Invest Downtown in this beautiful venue.
Got a quick commercial for you. First ever flag, so no pressure.
So next up, we have Scott Hunfield. He's going to talk about the Vault Business Condos, which is the former Wells Fargo building. If you haven't seen this building, it's one of my favorite buildings. And so yeah, Scott will talk about
I didn't follow that. More energy. Maybe my building would be full of this. Anyway, Scott Blumfield. I'm a commercial real estate broker here in town, and also a developer now. So, what I've done, I bought the Wells Fargo building mainly to put a bank in it, and I said the bank will want you buy it as a condo because we can do the rest of the building. No, I'm stuck with it, but it's been pretty successful. We've sold some condos. $2 million later, I've got 90% of the building gutted, and we're adding tenants to the floor, both lease and sale. So if you're interested in buying a property, you could buy your space or just lease your space or lease option purchase. So a lot of opportunities there. So this is haven't done much to the exterior, but we've done a lot to the interior, the old Wells Fargo bank space, and so part of that expense is 2 brand new Gen 2 Otis elevators. That was a fun project. Yeah, and so we're really excited. I think we're ready to go. We've got each floor ready to occupy. Depending on your space requirement, we can do a lot there. But the main thing the opportunity I want to talk about today is the restaurant space. So when we got the whole Wells Fargo floor, the main level, this half of the floor just screams restaurant. I mean, it's 5,000 square feet of free span space with giant windows. Ceiling heights are about anywhere from 15 on the lower parts to 20 feet. So you can really do a lot with this space. And everyone who walks in says this has to be a restaurant. And I'm saying that too. I don't even have it on the market because I'm holding out. So if you have a gymnastics thing with one of high ceilings, not happening. Next slide. So these are a couple of condos that we've already done. They're business condos. Actually, this one, Tom Gillian's space, he went a total industrial route. So he went all the way down to concrete. It's the most beautiful space. And he needed to have north light. Because if you're an artist, I learned this too. I showed him 1,000 north lights places. He just had to have it. So, and then the other one is Oakgard, Kovacic and Snipes. Their office is absolutely beautiful. But these are a couple of different examples of what you can do for office space. Next slide. So just some quick stats. It is in the opportunity zone in downtown Tip Fund. We have actually 61 parking spaces with the building, but if people weren't afraid to use the parking garages, we have 568 parking stalls. Wide sidewalks, so we wouldn't have to really do a pediment. So if you wanted outside seating. And the dead end street would be optimal for a concert space, the whole downtown concert scene. So these are some of our anchor tenants. A new one that hasn't really announced yet is Studio Montage. Again, if you are a restaurant and you want a built-in clientele, they have 18 stylists that are going to be dragging 3 customers in every day. And just a plug for your restaurant, Matt. But we have the Schulte Dirt Agency or the Snipes, Tom Gillian space, which is a gallery and living quarters. So depending on, someone could live in the building if they wanted to, and Levitt Group Insurance and our company Catalyst Commercial. Again, approximately 5,000 square feet. If you needed more space, we have the full basement available. We had Tamarack entertaining it for about a year and a half, and I'm sure some of you heard that, but I said you can have as much of the basement as you want, and pretty soon their space went from 5,000 feet to 18,000 feet. And then they came back and said it was too expensive, and they said, well, you're 18,000 feet. So anyway, they said, well, it wouldn't be a Tamarack if it wasn't 18,000 feet. And I said, well, I can't do that. So yeah, that's kind of what we've got going. If hopefully you'll come by and take a tour of the space, and if you're interested in business condos, we'll take you upstairs as well. But I want to just kind of focus on the potential for some restaurant space in the building. So I think I'm done. Thanks for your time.
Thank you again, Scott, for coming up and talking about his building. Next up, we have Mary Reardon. This is probably one of the newest opportunities in downtown Great Falls. She's going to talk about the GOG Mill building, which, if you're not familiar with, it was a building where Glacier State Electric used to be. So, Mary, thank you.
Yes, I'm Mary Reardon, and I own Gaelic Properties, which is on 112 First Avenue South. And we have some, how about the next picture, I think. Next slide. This is the way it looked in the 1930s. I think it was the 1930s. And then the next picture shows when Glacier State started in the 1940s until now. We now are changing into a different kind of property rental, but what we have to offer you is a classic Great Falls building, much like this one, for rental spaces for businesses. And we're pretty flexible in the size that you want. We already have our first renter that is moving in right now, which is Montana. And I'm really anxious for their grand opening next week. And then we have other spaces that are, like I say, flexible depending on the size square footage that you would prefer for your business. The good thing about this area is it gets a lot of foot traffic and visibility because it's right next to the Celtic Cowboy. It's right by the Civic Center, and it also is by Farmers Market, so people are walking down there, all summer long, and so it gives you good visibility. I will be there this afternoon from 12 to 2. I have refreshments, and I'd love to show you the building if you need some rental space for your businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. So next up, we're going to show our hybrid skills off here. We have Joan Radine, who is going to talk about Artsfest Montana. I'm sure a lot of you have seen these murals around downtown. Again, there is a map available as you exit that will have all the locations. So if you're going to be downtown for a little bit this afternoon, you can walk around and see where these are at. And Joan, we see you.
Do you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I wanted to share a little bit about Artsfest and our history. Artsfest Montana was launched in 2019 out of an idea presented to the BID from Great Falls, Montana Tourism after their staff attended the annual Bump Mural Festival that is held in Calgary. It followed on the footsteps of NeighborWorks Great Falls' installation of 6 murals in 2018. 5 of those murals are on 5th Street South and 1 is on 1st Avenue South. With the launch of our first mural festival in 2019, we held a workshop where we trained over 20 artists in the methods of street art. They learned how to create a large scale mural in a very short time frame. And I'm not sure who's handling the slides, but if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide, that would be awesome. Thank you. Funding permitted, I hope to host another workshop in the future as more of our local artists need to learn these methods. In 2019, we installed 6 murals. In 2020, we installed an additional 11 new murals, and in 2021, we installed 7 murals. If you include the murals installed by NeighborWorks in 2018, we have 30 new murals that have been installed in downtown Great Falls since 2018. We've had local artists working alongside internationally known artists throughout each of our Artsfest Montana mural festivals. With Artsfest 2021, we began a tradition to raise funds to support our efforts and sustain Artsfest. We held an artist reception and had artists demonstrate their skills and auctioned off their pieces. Look for more fun events like this to be held in the future. So what are the benefits of art? Art is a known economic driver. This has been proven again and again. There have been studies that have shown that local governments that invest in the arts have recovered quicker from the Great Depression and the Great Recession. One can hope that the same will be proven over time with recovery from the current pandemic. Art has been proven to be a graffiti deterrent. Artists respect each other's work and don't tend to put graffiti on top of a mural. We intentionally have targeted some high graffiti areas when selecting locations to have murals installed. Murals generate buzz about a specific destination, both positive and negative, as art is nothing if not subjective. But it generates conversation and brings people to an area to see the murals for themselves. So it benefits our local tourism industry. Artsfest Montana is being held again in August of 2022. So stay tuned and help us out by supporting your local mural festival. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Andreas Geranius. He's going to talk about a building that many of you probably drive by on a regular basis and don't even think about it. So I'm really excited to have Andreas here to talk about this opportunity today.
So I'm here to talk about the Washington School Building on 1015 First Avenue North. It's an old school built in 1909. Next slide, please. So these are just some sample floor plans we had drawn up. This one shows an underground parking garage that right away is off of First Avenue North, as well as the existing building with the parking to meet the occupancy for both buildings. Next slide, please. The next slide has a floor plan for 12 or 16. This is just the main floor, but depending on what kind of construction you want to do, you can go up to 16 potentially. I threw the legal description up there just to show that it is lots 8 through 14. So that's 7 buildable lots, kind of in the downtown corridor. It's kind of like next slide. It is zone C5. So here is just a sample of some of the uses: multifamily, residence types, daycare, restaurant, professional and administrative services. Next slide. Then I threw up just some potential funding sources. So city granted housing rehabilitation loan, home funds, property tax abatement. Next slide. SBA loan products, historic rehabilitation tax credit, as well as bridging gap loans up for the GPA. So if you have any interest in any respect partnership or investment equity debt, feel free to give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you, Andreas. So coming up next, we have Trevor Neiswanger from Lifestyle Real Estate. If you've driven down towards the 800 block of Central Avenue in the last few months, you've seen the redevelopment of his building. Absolutely beautiful. And so I wanted Trevor to come kind of talk about what went into that and where it is now.
Good morning, everybody. We have redeveloped 721 Central Avenue, and what we have done with that building, it's been lots and lots of things. I'm born and raised Great Falls, and most people come and talk to us about it being coast to coast and how they bought their first bike or gun or whatever there. But before we bought it, it was Rod's Music and the bookstore, which both of those businesses still survive today. and our downtown and thriving as well, so that's kind of cool also. We took this building, and I have to credit my wife and my daughter with a lot of the design. I like to actually take credit when people don't know, but there's some before pictures here, and as you can see, it's a little different. What we have here is we have our lifestyle real estate company in here, and then we also have the first Great Falls co-working space, and that's called the Hot Hive. So we have rental space available. We have 2 conference rooms in the front. This is one of them. The other one is just the same. We do have video conferencing that goes along with that. So whoever comes and rents, they can have that. This first floor is our real estate company. And we have those offices full at this point. I guess we have 1 available. And then what we have upstairs is we have executive suites upstairs as well. You can see those as they go down there. Those are all for lease or rent. With the co-working space, it can be rented by the hour, by the day, by the week, by the month. We have the bottom picture there shows some private office space where someone can come and be there for a week or however long, but actually has locking capabilities, so you can leave your stuff there. We do have this space here, which is an event space. We've had some fun things go on there already, and it's been really fun seeing the people come through that really, when they talk about traveling and looking for a co-work space, what I've been hearing is they kind of travel and then they look on their phone and Google where can I actually do my business. And my daughter's been a huge help in marketing that and putting it in the right places. So they're finding it online and they're coming and they're actually stopping in Great Falls, where if this wasn't available to them, they wouldn't even stop in Great Falls. So not only are they stopping to do the business, but they're also, stopping and using restaurants and other things like that. So we've got, I guess, with the co-work space, the Hot Hive, it's just a new concept of Great Falls, and everyone asks, well, where'd you come up with it? It is in bigger cities, and if you go there, it's like just the name Hot Hive is with bees. It's a busy place, and the cool thing about it is the networking that goes on that we've seen already is really cool. That people that wouldn't otherwise meet each other, they get to meet each other, see what other people do, create that relationship, and really continue to build. One thing I'd like to say, besides just our building, is I'm born and raised Great Falls, and how downtown is developing and coming along, and all of these things here that is happening. They say downtown is like the heartbeat of a community, and really, like I said, I'm born and raised here, 48 years old, not spent much time downtown. But since we have had this building, I've been spending time down here, it is amazing what's going on. And it is the heartbeat. I mean, the activity and the community feel that's down here is awesome. So the opportunity to invest downtown. Thanks.
So Trevor's building is one of the ones that will be open to walk through today. If you haven't been through that building, that's one thing you do have to check out. Just from, if you were in there before, to see what it is today is night and day. And it just goes to show you what you can do with some imagination and putting the right people in place. So next up, I'd like to introduce Matt Robb. Most of you probably already know him, so you really need to know introduction.
Thanks. I know a few people out there, but not everybody. Hey guys, how awesome is this? We can sit in the building again and have fun, right? I mean, look at this stage. This is so exciting to be downtown and see this building become this, not only for everybody in this room, but also for us here at the Wild Hare. I'll give you guys a little example of who I am. My name is Matthew Robb. I'm one of 3 owners that bought the 216 through 220 block, which is known as the Lobby Bar, where many of you know where I used to drink underage. That's the #1 story I get from everybody. That building's 106 years old, and we found that building, you can see back in the 1930s, this is called the Jockey Club. One really cool thing about that building is it's so nostalgic. And, you know, we own a number of different venues from the greater Southern California area to Nashville and also in Maui, Hawaii. And we fell in love with Great Falls because of community. Everybody that we met, when we actually flew up here and was able to get out and about and check things out, we were just looking at the building. We couldn't have been welcomed with better hands. I mean, everybody from Seth at the Mighty Mo and Mike at Embar and Joe at Elevation and Tony and Mark at Snitz and everybody here at the Newberry, everybody just kind of made us feel welcome. And that was the deciding factor for us to pull the trigger on coming to Great Falls. Not only did we come to Great Falls and invest in a building in downtown, but we all residents in here. So this is my full-time residence. I moved from Maui after 7 years, and I couldn't be more happy to be here. So as you look at this, you go back to that one slide. So you see how the architectural, like the curve, the lap and plaster, and how the old pillars were square and back where the casino is now. What we love about that is just the way it looks. So what we're going to try to do is bring some nostalgia back to that building, not only with architectural and building design stuff, but also with decor and things like that. Next slide. So we all know Maria. She's awesome. Maria's was the stable there for quite a while with Carl. And this is what Maria's look like. This is the front on the central seat side. This is in the back. Next slide. That's what it looked like about 2 months ago. So pretty different, right? And then next slide. This is what it looks like as of today. It's actually the temporary lobby bar right now because now we can move everybody up front and we can continue construction in the back, which we're in process. Next slide. And you notice that those are actually custom steel shells. We use reclaimed wood that we build out of the building. So we're trying to reclaim as much stuff in that building as we possibly can. Next slide. So we all know the lobby bar where you all used to drink underage. I know. Okay, everybody's been in there. Everybody's had a drink. See all the wood, everything. It hasn't had a new coat of paint in 20 years, is what Carl told us. So next slide. This is what it currently looks today. So we brought back the original brick. We brought back the original, the way it curves on each side. So when you walk in the door, you're going to see a really cool architectural feel. Next slide. And that's what we're working on currently. You know, one thing that we have a hard time in most of the cities we go into and we start building is working with the city. I got to tell you, one thing that we love about Great Falls is working with Craig Raymond and the downtown, the whole entire building department, building and safety over there. They've actually helped us out a lot. You know, we just couldn't be more happy to be here. And we're excited to unveil the wild hair. Hopefully, somewhere early spring is what we're looking. We'll be doing a lot of different cool events. We'll be having, you know, back to some nightlife as well. Working with Newberry when they have a show, doing after parties and vice versa. And one of the cool things about us being in downtown is just the growth. We think of downtown as something special. You can go up to 10th Street and those guys are awesome. Those buildings are cool. But when you come downtown, you just have a feeling of like, wow. I actually think of it as early San Diego Gaslamp. If you've ever been to San Diego and you go down to Gaslamp, it gives me that feel. And all these buildings have so much potential, and you're starting to see them change hands and people coming in with visions and things like that. So we couldn't be more proud to be here, and thank you all so much for taking us all in like we were family. And hopefully we'll get this done soon.
So another thing that we really get excited about is when we have young movers and shakers. And the next person who is coming up again, Andreas Geranius, he did an infill townhome project, which was an empty dirt lot, and turned it into 2 beautiful townhomes. And so Andreas is here to tell you kind of about how that came together. And yeah, thank you for coming again.
So back again. So I did 2 infill townhomes on 213 and 215 Second Avenue North. Next slide, please. This is kind of just a thank you to the city. They helped out pretty tremendously with, there was 3 atypical strips of land that they helped make into 2 buildable parcels. So next slide, please. In addition to that, they were very gracious in granting a variance. So we have some pretty easy setback requirements that let the build happen. Just next slide is a virtual walkthrough, so you don't have to listen to me talk anymore. So with that, I just want to leave you with some of the highlights. So there's a rooftop deck that has truss weights for a hot tub as well as 220 drag. And then it's a 3-bed, 3 full bath, and 2 half baths, and it's 2,700 square feet. Thank you.
I mean, how cool is that, turning a dirt lot into 2 beautiful townhomes? So Andreas, thank you again for coming up. Next up, we have Candace English. Those of you who haven't been to the Farmer's Daughter Fiber downtown, take some time to go and see her space. Absolutely beautiful. And Candace is going to come up and tell us a little bit about it.
Founder of the Farmer's Daughter Fibers and also the nonprofit Sisters United. And I'm here to share my success story. So I'm going to try and condense my journey in 5 minutes over the last 6 years. I'll probably read from my phone a lot, otherwise I'm going to go off on a tangent, and Christian won't like that. So in 2016, I started Farmer's Daughter Fibers in my basement. We hand dye yarn for makers, knitters, crocheters. And before I go any further, I just want you guys to lose any idea of what you think when you think of a knitter, because I know most of you are thinking of your grandmas right now. But the truth is the making industry has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In particular, websites becoming available for independent knitwear designers to give them a platform. So our largest customer range is between the age of 24 and 40, and the fiber arts is a multi-million-dollar industry. And this was our first setup I started in my basement. And along with doing all the things when you first start a business and you're an entrepreneur, a lot of times, especially if you're a creative entrepreneur, it is just a lot of work all yourself. And doing everything in those first months and years. The biggest part of starting our company, though, was our creating a really strong branding. And I knew I wanted it to be very authentic to myself. And so our yarn is inspired by our Blackfoot heritage and Montana roots, and our values are very much community-based. Over the next 2 years, I took and created every opportunity I possibly could. I started at Farmers Market, then got enough to do the Makers Market in Missoula, and then growing our wholesale account and building a strong online presence. And then we change the slide. In 2018, my husband joined the Farmer's Daughter Fibers team, and this was really able to elevate our growth. I knew that nobody would be able to invest in our company more than he would. And so we moved into a 4,000 square foot space at the laundry facility of the Columbus Center. And there we started to grow a team. And you can change the slide. So then over the next 2 years with my husband Xander really helping me, I was able to spend a lot of time traveling and just driving, working, again, building a team, but creating a national and international name for ourselves in the fiber arts industry. And you can change the slide, all while growing our team and investing in our local community through we had a little small, I don't have a picture of it here, but we had like a really small little retail space in our dye facility to be able to bring people in and create that community. As soon as I was able to, start become financially successful and have a larger platform online, I started Sisters United, which is a nonprofit that focuses on empowering and healing Indigenous women, children, and families. And then, of course, you can change the slide. In 2020, we had the unique opportunity to put things on pause and really take a look at what we were doing, what was working, what wasn't working. At that point, I was traveling around the country at least once a month. I have 2 kids that are growing and getting bigger. and I was really longing for home. And 2020 was actually a really great year for us financially in our business because people were at home knitting and making. So we were thankful for that. And then in September 2020, I solidified our company's community-driven values by opening up our retail space in our downtown location at 320 Central. And we still die in our old studio space, and our downtown location is where we ship for online shipping. About 70% of our sales come from online. And we have a beautiful little retail shop and then some really great gathering spaces. And I knew that downtown was starting to be on really the brink of something amazing. And even in a year, we've seen it change so much, obviously, in this beautiful space here. So we're marketing our downtown location to really become a destination yarn shop. I would say we're well on our way. This summer, I would say 85% of our customers were tourists that were coming, sometimes a couple hours, sometimes 12 hours out of their way just to visit our shop. If you know any knitters or people who like yarn, then you know how crazy we are and how far we'll go to do that. So that's been really exciting just to see the tourism come in. And I'm just really excited to see where the next few years will take us, and really grateful to be a part of this community, and really grateful to GFDA, because it's so nice to have people behind you and uplifting you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Candace. So we're going to show off our hybrid skills again. And we have Erin McLean.
Good morning.
Get her up. So Erin McLean from McLean Real Estate. She's going to talk about the Hardy's location. Where this location is really, I call it the west entrance to downtown Great Falls. If you come under the underpass, it's the first thing you see when you come up. And I think it's one of the busiest corners in downtown Great Falls. So thank you, Erin, for joining us through Zoom.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for the opportunity for us to be able to expose this property. As you are probably aware, the property is now vacant. During the pandemic, Hardy's tenant unfortunately decided to close this location. The owners are thrilled with this movement of Grow Great Falls, that they would love to be part of this redevelopment and revitalization area of downtown. You can go ahead and turn the slide. As was just mentioned, this is a prime location that's across the street from the Gibson Park, the Civic Center. You're close to all the downtown county offices and the Children's Museum. Go ahead and turn the slide. And this is a prime corner lot. You can see that you've got a lot of parking available. And if you turn the slide, you'll see that this is already set up with a drive-through location. You have the great visibility for it. The current building is about 4,300 square feet, and it sits on just under an acre of land. You can go ahead and turn the slide. Just some of the interior photos when it was operational. And you can turn the slide again. So the opportunity right now are two different options that the owner is presenting, because they would really like to see this prime location be put back on part of your community and being able to service the community. Either you can purchase the property. The tenant of Hardy's right now is actually still paying on this, even though they've been vacant for over a year. The lease does not expire until 2032. So you could purchase this property with plans to redevelop it for whatever your dreams are and collect the rent until time that you're ready to terminate the lease with Hardy's. Option number two, if you have dreamed of this location, of what you could put your business there and just wish that you had a way in, this is your way in. The owners are also open to having a new tenant come in and lease the property and are willing to build to suit to your needs. Like I said before, there's already a drive-through in place, so it's already set up for another restaurant, but that is not the extent of what the owners are open to. They're open to lots of opportunities that you could be creative with. So you can go ahead and turn the slide again. Just my contact information if you want more information about either one of these options. There's also, if this is going by too quickly, it is listed on LoopNet if you want to have a greater opportunity to look at some of the details of it, and my contact information is there as well. But thanks for the opportunity to present to you.
Thank you again, Erin. Again, this is such a great spot, and I'm sure everybody who comes from that west side into downtown pass it every day, and so think about what could be there. Next, we would like to talk about another great redevelopment that has happened in downtown. Cindy Abbott is going to come up and talk about the Northern Lofts.
I'm Cindy Abbott. I actually work as a property manager at the Northern Lofts for Big Sky Select Properties. It's been exciting for me to have the pleasure of joining this project. I worked downtown for over 20 years, so to see the growth that I've seen personally downtown is very exciting for me. A little history about the building itself. The Northern Hotel was built in 1914. That's where the Northern Lofts got its name. Before Big Sky Selects took over ownership, the first floor was renovated. That was roughly in 2001, and it is known today as the Mine, which we love being above the Mine, by the way. Thank you, Seth. When we took over ownership, the building at 412 Central, the second and third floor were pretty much bare walls, cracked and decaying plaster, and hallways. But owners were passionate about renovating it to beautiful living spaces, and being right in the heart of downtown was key. They acquired the building in 2011 and had considered several options for renovating the second and third floor. The struggle was making it work financially. The ownership group was able to utilize opportunity zone financing, tax credits, historic tax credits, and local incentives such as the PID grants to make the project viable. The driving force behind the project was certainly the need for nicer housing options in the downtown area. So the work began, and they wanted to be sure to maintain the historical integrity of the building, but also create comfortable modern living spaces. So I brought a couple pictures today of before and afters. You'll notice in the pictures, or if you have toured or want to tour today, I will be over there this afternoon, that every unit has a unique layout. They kept the exposed brick on all the outer walls. The corridors, staircases, and doorways are all original wood and have been cleaned up and stained where needed to match the original woodwork. They even kept the old hotel call center in the corridor. There's a lot of historic charm throughout the building, but they did a fantastic with bringing in the modern also. All units are equipped with all new appliances, including a washer dryer combo, and fixtures and detailing just blended all together. I want to recognize a few of the people that were involved in the project, but I know I don't know them all. But of course, the Rupage and Warner, Tim Peterson, Jason Linseth at Rocky Mountain Hardscapes was the general, and Lowen Bro did a lot of the plumbing, heating, and cooling stuff. And I know there was a lot of other people involved, but those were the main ones. So it's been very rewarding to bring to Great Falls a taste of what the larger cities have been doing with historic remodeling of rentals with the amenities that people are looking for. The renovation on this project actually started in late 2019 and was completed in July of 2021. We've been renting out since late August and have 18 units available. We're at approximately half capacity. We do have some Airbnb units, so Newberry, when you have people looking for a place to stay, be sure to hook them up with us. So anyhow, that's all I really have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Sherry Airy with NeighborWorks Great Falls, and she's going to talk about one of the newest redevelopments that's going to be happening here in the near future.
Thanks, Commissioner. MakeWorks has been around Great Falls for about 40 years, and the heart of our mission is to build stronger neighborhoods, create successful homeowners, and provide quality housing. And so in that vein, we are continuing to try to revitalize the historic areas of our city and remove blight. So if we go to the next slide, you'll see our BATS building renovation project. So this is 400 2nd Avenue South. It will be the BATS block apartments. The historic building was constructed in 1913, and it was first floor was a storefront, and the third floor was a hotel. It was the first floor was the first cabaret in Great Falls, known as the Cottage Inn. And ever since then, it's had a colorful past. And we look forward to revitalizing this wonderful building and giving it a new future. So next slide, please. This project really started out several years ago when NeighborWorks started working with a grant from the Montana Healthcare Foundation and working with all of these wonderful partners in our community to help deal with some of the homelessness issues that we were facing. And so through that initiative and working with the continuum of care, we have now created this project. Go to the next slide. So we are partnering with Homeward out of Missoula to do our project, and it's going to be a permanent supportive housing that is an intervention strategy that combines affordable housing and volunteer support services to address the needs of the residents. The services are designed to build independent living and stronger tenancy skills, and it connects people with community-based healthcare, support, treatment, case management, as well as employment services. It is a proven strategy to help combat homelessness. So this project is going to be in the 3-story building. We are estimated to have 25 apartments that will be studio 1 and 2 bedrooms. The main floor will house our supportive services, and we will utilize Montana low-income tax credits. We were awarded those just 2 weeks ago, and that equals to about $6.1 million to help us with the project. So if you go to the next slide, you can see where it still has a wonderful look, and you can, if the walls could talk, you could really hear the history of the hotel and all the people that have been through those doors. It will cost us approximately $8 million, and so obviously those tax credits are essential in that, and we will also use historic tax credits to be able to keep that feel of that 1913 building. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see a picture of the first floor and the high ceilings and the wonderful opportunity we'll have in that lower floor to create either some static office space or rotating office space for the services that we will be able to provide. So the next slide. So the next step, we obviously were awarded the tax credits. We're looking at other funding sources as well, but we will begin the pre-development and design work in spring of 2022. It says construction, but it should be pre-development work. We hope to have the bid process out by the fall or early winter of 2022, with construction beginning in 2023. And we would probably have completion in early of 2024. With this project, we definitely hope to use lots of local support and local companies in order to bring this back to our downtown and revitalize this for the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sherry. So those of you who are centered around downtown, who work downtown, live downtown, have businesses downtown, there's the rumor mill. We've all heard stuff going about, right, of things that are coming. And so what I'd like to introduce, I had to bring my notes, Dan and Steve Morano, Katie Carvel, Charlie Murphy, Melissa McQuillan, and Carrie Bates. And they're going to talk about the newest project that they're working on. And this is the big announcement that we've all been waiting for. Everybody's on the edge of their seats to hear about what's going on. So I'm going to have Dan and Steve kick it off.
All right, I'm not Dan or Steve, obviously. We can go to the next slide here. So what we are doing, you can tell that there is a lot of us up here. We are bringing a co-op idea to Great Falls. We are going to be called the Commons on Central. We are taking over the JJ's Bakery space. Now, our thought process is, you know, I don't want to brew beer. The guys cannot say charcuterie if their lives depended on it. And so we want to bring people together that are masters of their own craft, that are passionate about their things. And so our basis is going to be community, celebration, and collaboration. We're going to be bringing in a tap room in the front, a hopefully coffee shop up in the front we're working on right now. We have a little maker's nook, so people who are running their Etsy shops, the new fiber shops coming in, you know, people that are dreaming, will have a little area. And then we have a party and event space that we will be bringing into that back alley pub. So without further ado, bring it on to the top room, guys.
All right. Can you hear me okay? Next slide, please. Well, we're excited to be here and to be a part of this big project that's happening. You know, we chose downtown for a lot of reasons. We looked at a lot of different places, but we'd like to introduce Annie's Tap House coming on Central here. Next slide, please. We are Flatwater Mountain Group LLC. My name's Dan. This is Steve, my brother, and then Kevin couldn't be here today, but he's in Nebraska right now, tending to his family farm. Basically, we're going to have a tap house on the front half of the old JJ's Bakery. This is going to be something completely different, though, and we'll get to that as we go through the slides. I think we have like 20 minutes now, right, Christian? I mean, everybody went so fast. Go ahead, next slide. So when we were coming up with a name, that's always a big thing. Got to have kind of a cool name. We wanted it tied to Great Falls. So we named it after our great-grandmother. Our great-grandmother traveled 450 miles from Albion, Washington to Great Falls, Montana to claim her homestead of 312 acres in 1909. Annie grew wheat and barley up until 1929 on that property, which kind of brings in the whole beer concept behind it. And it's really hard to read. This is actually from the newspaper from November 16, 1909. And on the bottom there, it says Annie Busby claiming her land. She was one of the first women to claim land in Cascade County using the 1909 Homestead Act. So it's really cool. We thought that was a great way to celebrate her and come up with a cool name. Next slide. So this is kind of a basic concept. Like I said, we'll have 1,500 square feet on the front. You can see Steve here is a design drafter. He designed everything. We've got a really cool tap system. You can see up here. We'll have big pipes coming down the wall. We're keeping the brick, an old feel to it with a modern style. And then tap room system. This is kind of what makes us different. Basically 24 taps of all craft beer from around the country. We'll get to that. 6 non-beer taps. Your basic seltzers. We're having a root beer made for us. We'll talk about that in a second. White wine on tap. We'll have our own nitro coffees, and like we said, we're working on a coffee bar as well. We'll obviously have lots of red wine, craft beer, bottle wine, and we'll do growler fills all day, all that fun stuff. So next slide. So what does make us different? One thing, we're not a brewery, but we will have our own beer being made for us by a craft brewer here in Montana. Basic classic American lager to start with, the Sand Hills, Nebraska. Kevin's from Nebraska, but we are Montanans. And then you can see names of our other drinks. Those will rotate throughout the season, probably 1 or 2 on tap all year long. And then we're celebrating Bertie Brown. If you've heard of Bertie Brown, that's what we're naming our root beer. She's a famous African-American woman here in Montana that was a bootlegger during Prohibition. Unfortunately, she blew herself up in the home. But the cabin still stands, but you can look her up in the Great Falls Tribune. It's super cool. She has a great story, and She was in the Tribune for being arrested multiple times. So we'll have a bunch of cool stuff up and Tribune stuff up from that. Beers on tap, obviously, we are a craft beer and wine venue. I mean, that's it. We're not liquor or anything like that. We want people to enjoy craft beer differently in town in Great Falls. So when we say 24 beers on tap, I mean, we're out there, we're reaching out to not just Montana breweries, but breweries around the country that you have not tried here yet. So one of the things also, we're doing focus groups out at Malmstrom, because we know people come here, they can't find the craft beers that they enjoy in the Southeast, New York and places like that. So we're gonna bring that, we're in talks with those brewers as well. We'll do Montana wines, we'll have, obviously from the west side of the country here, lots of wines, and then some specialty stuff that we're gonna be doing. Next slide. So basically, I mean, we just, we want to turn beer drinkers into craft beer drinkers. That's what makes us different. We're not a bar. We won't be open all night kind of thing. So our goal is to have a really cool place to chill out and overflow from all the stuff that's happening. This is the reason we chose downtown and specifically this location was simply just everything happening here. It's awesome to see Great Falls. Steve and I grew up here. We're still Montanans today. We moved back from all the different places we've been. And this is something we've always wanted to do. So you see, same thing, a lot of what you're seeing downtown here, live concerts, events. Something that we will be doing different that we don't think is happening here yet is we will have real, true taproom takeovers. We'll bring the master brewers here and owners to talk to you about. These will be limited seating type events where we'll offer tickets and things to come, and you'll get to meet these brewers from around the country. We'll also do that with the wine. So I've got a lot of contacts with some of the best winemakers in the country, and I've asked them to come out as well and do wine events. So you get to meet winemakers from Chateau Ste. Michelle and 14 Hands and all these cool companies. So food truck nights, we'll have specialty food pairings with all things charcuterie. Woo, got it right. And actually they will be doing cutlery boards for us that you'll be able to order in the tap house. And also with Charlie and Sub Rosa events that are in the very back of JJ's there. They'll be doing all kinds of events and we'll be partying together to serve the beer and everything. So anyhow, that's all I've got today. And I will turn it over to Carrie and Melissa.
Thank you. My name is Carrie, this is Melissa, and I'm not sure if you've heard of us yet, but we're All the Things Charcuterie, and we started last November. Thanksgiving was our first order that we did. We started out, we kind of have always thought about doing something together, bringing something new and different to Great Falls. So last Thanksgiving we went for it, and it's turned out to be great. So we started with just holiday boards. Now we do pretty much orders every day. So custom orders, we do different type of platters. You can see in the top left, that's kind of like our classic size that we started with, and now we've done everything to like a 100-person brunch table we did a couple weeks ago. So we have personal sizes up to brunch and charcuterie offerings that we can come and set up for your events. So let's see, we're getting through Halloween orders this weekend. We'll have Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, which are filling up already. So if you are interested, get a hold of us. But we're super excited to be doing kind of our own space. Melissa's going to talk about that more. But any kind of orders that you guys have for businesses, Christmas gifts, we have a couple orders in, so we can package stuff up for you. We can bring it to your location and set it up. So we're just excited to be part of the downtown, everything that's going on, and all of the businesses around Great Falls.
So we're really excited to take over the kitchen part of the old JJ's Bakery. So we'll be in the middle section of the Commons and have our own space, which will be great. We can work late nights and early mornings and everything in between. And then we're hoping to offer pickup options, have refrigerator grab and go, things like that. And then also any other charcuterie needs, hopefully, a little maker space for little additions to your boards or platters. Oh, and we've also started just offering charcuterie classes. So we worked with Lindsay at Nourish and have started using her space until our space is ready. We're excited to work with Sabrosa and do some really cool stuff with them, and also pair up with the brewery. We can, like Carrie said, mix and match and do anything, any kind of theme we can help you envision and make that great. We love food. We love making food beautiful. We love gathering people together around food. And we're excited about the next year or two and how it's gonna go at the conference.
Awesome. All right, so we are Katie and Charlie, and we kind of have a twofold business. I'm going to start with Tray 65. That literally translates to 365, and our vision is to make every day magical. We are going to start a party in a box store. We had this idea, I think, before COVID started, and then it wasn't lost on us when people were gathering, and it's silly to start a event store and party supply shop. But what we're going to have is grab and go boxes ready to go for your bridal events, your birthday parties, your corporate events you can grab. We also will be able to handle larger events or a little bit more custom things. So we're excited to get that going, ready to go for you. Sabrosa is Latin for under the rose, and my parents said Latin would never come in handy. So it literally means like in secret. It's kind of a hidden gem of Great Falls. We're in that back alley pub in the JJ's Bakery area, and it's going to be able to hold about 75 people. We kind of think of it as the craft beer of event space. It's going to be a little bit more custom, a little smaller scale, and so we'll be able to hold, once again, the bridal showers, the baby showers, kid events, that type of thing. We're really excited about the opportunity. There's going to be a rooftop option coming in the spring, and then the space above it is also open. So hopefully bridal suites, groom suites, those type of things for people getting ready and wanting to host things downtown, move into these bigger venues downtown, hoping to partner and really just make it a cohesive place down here. So that is kind of our twofold business that we are bringing in the Tray 65 and the Sabrosa space. Oh, perfect. Obviously, I did not put this one together. Thank you, Charlie, for doing that for us. So here's kind of like a little sampling of what it's going to be like. People can grab these boxes, ready to rock and roll, take them and either celebrate on site or at home. I think it's something that Great Falls in general just needs a place to be able to gather. All right, and so here's kind of the layout. The back pub area is going to become Sabrosa. All the things charcuterie is taking over the kitchen. We're going to have a small grab and go for our boxes, the Maker's Nook, and then Annie's is taking over the front. And then the coffee shop is going to go in the very front area so people can walk downtown and grab coffee right out the front window. All right, I think that's all. We're very excited to work with y'all. It's good to see some familiar faces down here.
Who's excited for more places to drink craft beer? I was really excited when I heard about this at first from Dan and Steve about Annie's, and then the whole thing that has come together to be the Commons on Central. I think it really fits well into the theme of Invest Downtown and what they're doing. And so I was very happy that they were in that right moment to be the announcement at this year's Invest Downtown. So we're gonna have Kelly Pierce come up. She's here representing the Downtown Development Partnership. And she's going to really talk about how everything comes together and then tie it all in.
Hi, everybody. Super excited to hear everything that's going on, all the things that were revealed today of the projects. Just amazing. So I am the director of the Downtown Association here in Great Falls, but I'm also the board chair for the Downtown Development Partnership. And today you're at our annual meeting. Thanks for coming. Actually, we did that yesterday, but we wanted to share everything that we have done over the last 9 years with you and kind of give you an introduction of who we are and what we do with the community. So next slide, please. The DDP, Downtown Development Partnership, really came out of the adoption of the Downtown Master Plan on October 18th of 2011. So quite some time ago. But the Downtown Development Partnership filed, right, next slide. I have a lot of slides. The Downtown Development Partnership filed its bylaws and articles of incorporation in September of 2012. Next slide. And then received the 501c3 designation in August of 2014. So who is the Downtown Development Partnership? We are 11 different entities and organizations that come together that all have a seat at the table and help implement our downtown master plan goals. So you'll see we have the Business Improvement District, Cascade County, City of Great Falls, Downtown Association, Chamber of Commerce, Development Authority, Public School District, the Historic Preservation, Neighborhood Council 7, NeighborWorks Great Falls, and the Parking Commission. Gotta have parking. Next slide. So a few stats. New businesses that opened between 2011 and 2020 were 119. So that doesn't even include any that have opened this year, which that number is just going to keep climbing, which is so cool. So Mighty Mo, Central Avenue Meats, the historic tax credits that were used for the Celtic Cowboy. So many great additions to our downtown since 2011. Next slide. So the total value of the building permits issued between 2011 and 2020 was $61 million. That is a huge investment in our downtown. And again, it is only going to climb. Next slide. So we keep track of volunteer hours. Every little bit counts towards some of our accreditation that the DDP qualifies for. We'll talk about that in a minute. But between 2011 and 2020, we had close to 268,000 hours of volunteer time. A lot of you know that several of the events that we do downtown, a lot of the things that happen are because of the gracious hours that volunteers put in. We honestly couldn't do most of it without. So thank you to everybody that steps up and volunteers. Next, one of the major projects that DDP is involved in. Artsfest Montana, which we heard from Joan about, the Downtown Visioning Plan, which a lot of the projects that were talked about were kind of brought to life, the Pedlet program, and wayfinding, which we are currently working on as we speak. So the Downtown Development Partnership is also the Downtown TIF District recommending body for the City Commission. So this last year, we advocated and worked with the city to create the new TIF programs, which allocate $500,000 a year out of our general TIF fund for downtown to spur new projects and help with other areas of financing that may not have made projects available, like the life safety and code compliance, the ADA compliance program, facade programs, and the environmental safety, which is cameras and lighting for outside to make downtown more safe. So we've worked really hard with the city to implement these new programs. We've had some success so far. They just opened in August of this year. So if you want more information on those, contact the city. You have money to spend on new projects. Next. So in 2010, we joined the Montana Main Street program as an entity, which is housed out of Helena. And then next. In 2015, we were able to achieve the highest level of membership, which is an accredited status through the Montana Main Street community. We are one of 3 in this state. So these volunteer hours that we record, the new tax dollars that are coming in, all of these things we keep track of so that we can maintain our accreditation. So this also put us on the map at a national level. It allowed us to achieve an accredited status with the National Main Street Center. The National Main Street Center is built around 4 pillars, which is what the DDP essentially is. There is design, promotion, economic vitality, and organization. So now we have all 4 of those pillars in our downtown office with the addition of Christian's position. So design is the Business Improvement District. Promotion is the Downtown Association. Organization is the DDP. And of course, economic vitality with GFDA. So we have alphabet soup living in our office. Okay. So we've received Montana Main Street grant funds over the last several years. We've been awarded 9 different grants, which is an outstanding record. We're kind of the golden children of the state because of Joan Redeem and others that make sure that we follow through with the grants that we receive. So a few of the grants that we have received, we've used towards speakers at our Montana Downtown Conference and other workshops. We received 2 grants for facade renderings. So there was a facade rendering of the lobby building, several that have been done using the grant funds. We also received 2 grant funds for the PEDLIT program that the Business Improvement District implemented and helped get that kicked off. We used grant funds for the microvisioning plan that we did just a couple of years ago that GFDA spearheaded. And most currently we have wayfinding and wayfinding implementation. So first came the plan, all the documents that said this is where all the signs need to go. And then this year, currently, we're just wrapping up the implementation. So you will start seeing wayfinding in Great Falls, hopefully before December. So in the next month, we will have some signs out, which is really cool. It's been part of our master plan goals for the last 10 years, and we're finally implementing. So next slide. So I mentioned the downtown conference that Montana hosts. We were lucky enough to host it in 2012 and then again in 2017. The feedback in 2017 was incredible. People that came in 2012 looked at us and were like, what happened? So much is going on. It's so great to see the growth here. I can't believe you guys have done this. So we're looking forward to hosting it again in 2023. So we kind of share it around the state with the Big 7. So we were supposed to have it last week in Billings, but we postponed till April of next year. But it's really cool to go around to these other communities that are part of the Main Street programs and use them as sounding boards, and just, it's a coalition of people all doing the same things in our communities. So we're excited to hopefully host that in 2023 here in Great Falls and show off all of our new things that are happening. Okay, next. So what is next? DDP, you can go to the next slide, please. DDP will be celebrating its 10th anniversary next year, so we're going to invite you all back for our annual meeting again. The revitalization plan, we are in the talks of using our Montana grant funds to work on that for next year. And then obviously wayfinding implementation is our current near future plan. So we have a lot of work to do, but with the great help of all of you and the community that we live in, it makes our job so much easier. So we're going to continue to work with our partners and our neighbors to make downtown vibrant and alive.
Let's give real quick one more round of applause to the Downtown Development Partnership. Go next. The map. I told you guys about this map earlier. And so real quick, this is not the end. We have one more, but I wanted to tell you guys real quick about the map. So you're going to get this map on your way out. On this side is kind of the walking map of downtown. On the reverse side, we'll have a little description of each of the things that you heard about today, who the contact people are, and all that. There's also a QR code. You can scan it digitally into your phone and navigate around with Google Maps. So to wrap up Invest Downtown, we have Jolene Schalper, who's going to give us the final thoughts from Great Falls Development Authority. And there she is.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. I had planned to, but I'm at home with my 6-year-old awaiting the results of a COVID test. So that's fun. But we have hybrid events. And so that's what makes this fantastic, is that we can participate wherever. We're going to keep our hybrid events as we see greater participation, and we want to have more accessibility. So I just have a couple of final thoughts for you. The first is thank you. Thank you to everybody here today. And I'm gonna, even though I can only see the backs of your heads, I can see you. So I'm gonna ask people to stand up, please, as I thank them. And we'll save our applause for the end, but all the GFDA team members in the audience, please stand up. All right, all the Northwestern Energy people in the audience, please stay standing. I saw that. You sat down, Soren. Sit back, stand back up. Northwestern Energy team members. Newberry, anybody from the Newberry or a partnership, please stand up. Anybody who spoke today, please stand up as a speaker and an investor in downtown. If you're an investor in Great Falls Development Authority, please stand up. There you go. If you are one of our partners in growing downtown, please stand up. Now, really, every single one of you should be standing at this point, and I just want to give every single person in the audience a round of applause and say thank you so much for all you're doing. We've invested $65 million in downtown in a period of 10 years. That's just incredible. And we all know that there's a lot more on the horizon, including a lot of projects that weren't ready to talk at our event today, but we will hear from them in the future. So 2 major themes arose from today. The first was that opportunity abounds. There are so many opportunities in our downtown. You saw plenty of spaces, and we all know there's more. The second is that we have a community and a city that are not only willing, but they're offering resources and partnerships and a drive to make things happen. We are growing downtown Great Falls, and we want every single person to join us. We have spaces, we have projects, we have the opportunity zone, we have partners, we have businesses. So I'm going to ask you to do 1 or more of 6 items. First, buy a building. There's still buildings for sale. Second, buy a condo. Plenty of condo opportunities. Third, rent a space and start your dream business. Or you could do number 4, which is invest in somebody else's dream business. All of you, though, I asked to do number 5, which is promote downtown. Talk about the businesses. Talk about the opportunities. That it takes us all to spread the word and share. Word of mouth is the best form of marketing, and you telling your neighbor how cool downtown is better than anybody else. And lastly, go downtown. See a concert, eat, drink, check out the art, move downtown, book an Airbnb downtown, or maybe a boutique hotel. Go shopping, get a massage, a facial, you name it. There are so many things going on downtown. Thank you for helping us support all of those investing in downtown. Thank you for making your own investments. And now, in the spirit of number 6, let's go downtown, go have lunch, and then take some of those tours. Christian has set up a super cool map on your phone. Use that QR code, and then you click on the Google map. It has all of the spots that are open for touring today. And when you click on the little number, it gives you the description and the name and phone number of who you need to call if you know somebody or if you want to make an investment. So thank you for joining us for Invest Downtown, and go downtown.
Thank you, Jolene. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for coming. And everybody who spoke, I mean, it's just amazing to see this group of people in here, the movers and shakers of downtown, and to see what's going to happen in the next 10 years in downtown Great Falls. The stuff that's out on your table, please take it. We put it out for you guys. There's some pins in the middle. I don't want to have to take this stuff all back with me, so please take it. We encourage you to stay downtown. Eat lunch downtown. I told you you'd be done by noon, and we're way ahead of schedule. So that's good. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for coming.